morning, everyone. We're going to do experiment 1 today, which is about lab equipment. There are several parts to the experiment today. Has anyone taken a college level laboratory course before?
Yes.
Yes, you have? Good, wonderful. So there are some experienced people out there. That's great. And I've already checked into your drawer, so you're familiar with some of the pieces of equipment in your drawer. And we're going to actually use those today. We're going to be able to use significant figures as well with all the different parts of today's lab. The first part of this lab, what you're going to do is you're going to measure a piece of paper using a meter stick, and your idea is to record the width and the length of the paper in centimeters. And you're going to do some dimensional analysis on that. What type of glassware is this that I've drawn?
Beaker.
Beaker? Good. And the markings on the beaker go 50, 100, 150, 200, but then the beaker says on it 250 milliliter beaker. So can we use these markings to tell exactly how much volume is contained if I fill it all the way up to the top?
No.
No. So what we're going to actually do is determine precisely, a little bit more precisely, the volume contained in the beaker if I fill it all the way up to the top. And the way that we're going to do that is with a larger or 100 milliliter, what type of equipment is this?
Graduated cylinder.
Graduated cylinder. It would be a little bit more graduated if I actually had all the marks on it. It doesn't mean graduated because it graduated from college. It means a lot of markings. There's a lot more markings on this than on this piece of equipment here. So you're going to fill this up, read the volume, fill this up, read the volume, fill it up again, read the volume, and write those values down. But you're going to read it to the proper number of significant figures. Same thing with the meter stick. And remember that the way that we read volume is, let's say we have this many markings, and let's say this is 80, and let's say this is 70. So if the water level is right here, where do we put our eye? Right, good. So you're going to line up your eyeball with the bottom of the meniscus, and then as well as you can read, the volume is either at the line or at the other line or between the lines. If you think it's closer to the line, you're going to use a trailing zero to convey that information. So what would happen if it was right at this line here?
75.
Right. If it's right at this line here, you would write 76.0, and if you think it's closer to between the marks, you would write 76.5. And you would always want to use your volume, units, milliliters. Okay, good. That's part 2. This one's pretty simple. You're going to stick 5 pennies into a weigh boat, and then you're going to put that on a balance. Whatever the mass is, you're going to write that down. That's going to be in grams. Then you're going to calculate the average mass of 1 penny. By, how would we do that? Take this reading,
Divided
divide by 5.
number.
Wonderful. Okay, the last part of this lab is you're going to work with a flame. You're supposed to sketch out a Bunsen burner. You're supposed to determine the hottest part of the flame using 2 pieces of metal. We have 1 piece of metal that's copper. We have another piece of metal that's an alloy between nickel and chromium. And you're going to put that into the hottest part of the flame, which is at the top of the inner blue flame. Now let's talk about the hazards associated with each part of this lab. You could arrive at a paper cut. This is working with a lot of glassware, so in case there is any broken glass, you're going to want to have your goggles on. You're going to want to have closed-toed shoes. You're going to want to use a weighing boat anytime that you stick something on the balance. Don't weigh the pennies directly on the balance. We're just trying to get you ready for when you are actually weighing chemicals. Here, just be careful not to burn your hands. You can use a tongs. So there's different kinds of tongs that we have in this lab. There's ones that kind of look like this. That's what I recommend. The other ones are actually, they kind of look like this. Those are for test tubes. So these, you want to use the ones that kind of look like scissors for this application. Okay, are there any questions so far? You guys ready to get started? Okay, before you leave lab today, I want you to have all your measurements, and I want you to run by your calculations of average mass. So show me before you leave. The average mass. The other calculations you can do at home. Okay, go ahead and get started.